This is a great town. We're one of the best towns, not only in New Jersey, but in the country. But it is also a town that can have things go better. There are a lot of areas that if we as a town come together, we can make greater improvements for our town, for our quality of life, and for those who are going to be coming here to live in the years to come. And that's why I'm running for the town council. My platform is under the theme of Positively Berkeley Heights. And there's two parts to that. The first is my background. I'm someone who's been born and raised here. My parents came to this town for the same reason that many families of their parents came here, in their case over 35 years ago. Was that this was a great suburban town for them to raise their family with a great school system and tremendous opportunities for their kids to succeed that they may not have had. So I went to our public schools, I graduated Mountain Park, elementary school, Columbia Middle School, Evan Livingston High School, and went on to get my college degree at university, summa cum laude, and then my master's degree in communications at Rutgers University. While I was there, I also took courses at the elite graduate school for planning and public policy, which is one of the top 3 in the country, and took the courses on local finance, government and state organizations, budgets, so that I would have the kind of knowledge of what goes into the nuts and bolts of local government, which is how we spend your money. But it's not just theoretical with me, because I've been going to town council meetings for the last 9 years, and pretty much every single one of them for the last 3. And the reason for that is I care about this town, and I think you don't understand really what goes on in leading a town unless you're there. We may not have our lives affected by the presidential race. We may not have a child that goes to war. You may not have, an issue with stem cell research, but everyone has a road that needs to be raised. Everyone has a need that needs to be met on the local level by a council member, or a DPW person, or the town clerk. Seniors need someone to give them a helping hand. Town employees need someone to give them a fair shake. These things happen at the local level, and they affect everybody. And that's why when the saying is all politics is local, well, it's true. But it's also because every important part of our lives is affected by what is local. So that's why I've gone to meetings, not just to regular council meetings, but even to the budget meetings where maybe 1 or 2 other people show up. Because that's where our money is spent, and that's where discussions are held on how to spend that money. And what that means is that I bring as much experience, the knowledge of the issues, the knowledge of what we face, what we can do, what we can't do, what we can do to improve upon, more than anyone actually could, short of actually being on the council. I have more experience than either the 2 newcomers who are running, though I have a great deal of respect for them, than almost any newcomer that has ever sought office in this town. So don't let anyone come up to you during this campaign and say, Steve Yellin doesn't have the experience to serve this town. The question that you should be asking is, do the other guys have the experience to serve this town? My roots are here, my experience is here, and I've been giving back to this town for over a decade. Someone who's been involved in our community in a number of ways. A few years ago, there was a section of our town, the 3 acres Emerson Lane neighborhood, that was in danger of being totally turned upside down by commercial development. I don't live in that neighborhood, but I felt that if something like that were built next to my house, with my family, I wouldn't want that. Nobody would want to have a 51,000 square foot facility, the size of a football field, with hundreds and hundreds of new cars coming down its roads every day, disrupting quality of life, tearing down or chopping down thousands of trees and disturbing natural habitat. None of us would want that. And I believe in the golden rule. If you do unto others, you would have them do unto you. So I got involved in helping to save that neighborhood. I joined a group that was known as Stop the BAC, and I was honored to serve as the chairman of the political committee we formed to urge residents to vote no to the proposal in a referendum. Some of you who've been in politics know how hard it is to get people to turn out for any election, especially an off-year one, like say in the middle of May. But we got nearly 40% of the residents to turn out, and over 80% of them voted no. And we did that not by making it a partisan issue, but by making it a Berkeley Heights issue, by bringing Democrats, Republicans, and Independents together, people who've been here their whole lives, people who have just recently come here, everyone in between, for a common goal that we believed in. And that is the exact kind of thing that we need to be doing as a town. And that's a good segue into the other part of what makes me Positively Berkeley Heights. And that's the issues I believe in. Anyone who's been in local government, as someone like Jack Bolenard can tell you, or Joe Cryan, or Bruce Bergen, knows that on the local level, there isn't a Democratic or Republican issue. Here, it's a Berkeley Heights issue. It's about what affects all of us in this town. And as the saying goes, it's not a Democratic or Republican way to fix a pothole. Any of you came down the streets today know that there's not a Democratic or Republican way to do it. You just fix the pothole. So moving to a community is going to have concerns about it if it looks like a moonscape. And unfortunately, what we do with a hard-working DPW, there's simply not enough of them, not enough resources to fix these roads in a fashion. You know, our town council literally has a 15-year plan to fix the roads in our town. How many people really think it's going to be 15 years before they eventually get to your road?
Without you. I mean, with you there, hopefully. Yes.
Yeah. Nobody has a 15-year plan because, you know, as communism showed, not even a 5-year plan works. So 15 years is a little too long, and no one should have to wait that long. And so my feeling is that our #1 spending priority should be for road repairs. That if we make careful adjustments and work carefully within our budget, we should be able to slowly increase the number of DPW manpower and the resources attached to it so that we can start fixing our roads more quickly and more efficiently. And I think that is the kind of thing that we as a town all care about. Everyone's roads matter to them. And so for that matter does the future of their town's infrastructure. I want to talk about some of the issues there. Some of you know that we are currently in the process of approving a new municipal complex, a new town hall, library, police station that will be coming together at the current town hall site. Now, this plan is going to go through and it will be adopted before I get on the council. But when you look at the current state of our town hall, or the police station that's been deemed unsafe to work in for 8 years, a library that's in violation of the ADA, and the fact that our seniors need to rent a place to meet once a week, there's a lot of good arguments for why we should be doing this. My goal as elected will be to ensure that we get this project done on time, as on budget as possible, and with the maximum amount of transparency to the public. Because we're talking about spending nearly $30 million probably by the time we're done. That is a huge burden for taxpayers to pay. And if we're going to benefit our town in the long run with this, we better ensure we get every last ounce of the bang for our buck that we can. And that's what we're going to look to do. But it also means that when it comes to fiscal responsibility, that you have to be socially responsible as well. You can't neglect those that are most in need in our town. You can't neglect them because they are what makes the heart of a community. I want to refer specifically to our fire department and our seniors. Not many towns have a volunteer fire department. We do. In fact, we are one of the largest and strongest volunteer fire departments in the whole state. These are people who literally risk their lives day in and day out, in theory, without asking for a penny in salary. Now that takes real commitment. And what they've asked of our town in return is the equipment, the machines, the resources and support they need to ensure they can keep us safe each and every day. Unfortunately, the mayor and the town council haven't lived up to their side of the bargain, so to speak. And I've spoken to a lot of these fire department members. I've listened to them and learned from them. I've been to their events, and I understand that they have legitimate grievances. And I want to be their advocate on the town council. And I'm grateful that a number of them, including some of you who are here tonight, are supporting me. And I hope I will never ever have the misfortune of letting you down, because I certainly don't intend to do so. As for our seniors, they are people who often deserve a little extra helping hand if we can, because they don't ask for very much. They want to take a trip somewhere, spend time together, or if they want to have support for a program they want to throw. We should do that. We shouldn't be afraid to support people who have given so much of themselves to our town. So we need to be both fiscally and socially responsible, and that's the kind of approach I'll have on the council. We also have a lot of issues with our downtown. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of good businesses come and go. We've had difficulty getting businesses in our downtown district to thrive. Part of it is that we just don't have the kind of plan in place to act on it. One of the things that I've been pushing for a long time is the creation of a business improvement district or special improvement district, something that a lot of other towns have done successfully in our region. In fact, the town of Clark just adopted one a few weeks ago. And what that allows is for an organization to form of business owners, landlords, residents in our community, and city officials to come together and create a clear blueprint to how we can improve our downtown. What we can bring in there successfully, what our advantages are, what are our drawbacks, and what we can do to improve it overall. But we also need to try to increase the arts and culture and celebrate the arts and culture in our town. Because we have a lot of incredible diversity, not just in terms of backgrounds and beliefs, but in terms of things like the Wharton Music Center, in different arts schools. We have tremendous cultural richness in our town And we need to bring that out and celebrate it and make it a part of how we sell ourselves to business owners and to residents who might be wanting to come here. Because no town is going to be that great if it's economically successful but culturally poor. It has to go hand in hand. We also have an issue with affordable housing. Some of you may know that the state Supreme Court has recently adopted a ruling that requires towns like us that have not built affordable housing units in many, many years to build our fair share. And that's something that's going to go through whether we want it or not. But this is also an opportunity because we have a lot of new residents that are going to be joining our town who may be able to contribute a great deal to the quality of life and the value of living in our town. And we need to make sure that they're welcomed and they're a full part of our community, both now and into the years to come. The fourth area that I want to talk about is with communications. This is something that's a personal favorite of mine. It's something I've been working on for many, many years. One thing I have found is that most people in town don't know who their elected officials are on the local level. Most don't even know members of the council, maybe a few know the mayor. That's a problem. And I know people have jobs and people have families, so it's not their fault. The governing body has to be able to go out into the community and reach out to people, to introduce themselves, to get their feedback and input, to welcome legitimately, not just say that they welcome, to honestly welcome their feedback and their input. And to do that, there's a number of things that need to be done on top of what's already been done. I give the council credit for televising council meetings, but there's a lot more that can be done. We can, for example, stream our council meetings online, as a number of other towns have done. We can restore a town newsletter that can go out to everybody, as well as an electronic version of it. And we can also have open house sessions on weekends, so that people who can't go to a council meeting on a weekday evening because they have kids or family can have a chance to find out what's going on and offer their feedback. This is such a great idea that the Republican newcomers who are running have adopted now as part of their own platform. And you know that there's a good idea when the other side starts embracing it, right? So this is, again, the kind of common sense, positive change that we can have for our town. And speaking of positivity, the last thing I want to talk about is how we can celebrate the good things in our town. Because oftentimes we get a lot of negative things that get said, and people think that's all there is to a town, is the negative politics. But that isn't true. We have tremendous benefits to being in Berkeley Heights. People in our schools, our community activities, the community spirit that we have from all kinds of different organizations. And we need to draw that out and we need to celebrate it. So I'd like to have, for example, a Celebrate Berkeley Heights Week, where we can have a ceremony to recognize some of the best contributors to what makes our town great on an annual basis, where we can have our different departments and cultural groups come together to celebrate the great things that are in Berkeley Heights. And likewise, we can do a similar thing to honor our fire department, our police department, and our seniors, to have a special day to commemorate them for what they have been a part of and what they are doing for our town. This is not a Democratic or Republican issue. None of these are. These are Berkeley Heights issues. It is what we as a town can do together for positive change. That's why I say I'm positively Berkeley Heights. It's not because I think things are all rosy and perfect, because they aren't. And no great town ever got greater by pretending things are perfect. What we need to do is have leaders that are willing to bring us together, to work together, to find the common solutions to the common goals that we have. That's what I have a proven record of doing. Whether we're bringing people together with the BAC issue, or supporting our fire department and seniors, or keeping a campaign promise of going to council meetings for the last 3 years and being the only report on it in print for the entire town of Berkeley Heights, or giving credit where credit is due to the town council. I have done that, and I will continue to do that. You know someone to be trusted when they keep their promises, and that's something that I have done and will continue to do. So, how can I win this election? Well, the easy answer is get enough more votes than the other guy, but it's a little more complex than that. I need your help. Your money, yes, that's always good. I always do appreciate that. But it's also your time. I need your time you can spend to help get involved in the campaign. To welcome me to your home with your neighbors by hosting a coffee event. To write letters or send emails out. To help spread the word on Facebook and all the other numbers of social media. And to help me as I go around town. To meet people. And more importantly, to listen and learn from them. Because no one in town, myself included, has all the answers to our problems. But I know that out there in our town are all the answers to our problems. That if we are willing to go out there as a group and work together for that kind of positive change, I I know that I can be the first Democrat elected in this town in the last 10 years. Not because of my party affiliation, but because I am simply the best person, as the town sees it, to serve them on the town council. So how can you help? Go to my website, Yellin2016.com. You can get involved there, sign up for the campaign, contribute, volunteer. We're going to have a tent at the street fair on Sunday, June 26th. Come there, join us, help me meet people. Sign up to have an event at your home, or attend some of our other events, and help spread the word. This is not about Republican versus Democrat, not in Berkeley Heights, not anywhere else. It's about how we as a town can choose the best leaders to help lead us all. This is the most critical time in the 60-plus years history of this town. We have huge decisions that are being made to change the landscape of this town completely. We need to have leaders that are ready to meet that challenge. And I know that with your hand and your help, I will be able to meet it. Working cooperatively with those on the governing body and with people across our town. Whether you've been here your whole life, whether you've just come here, anything in between. No matter your party, your background, belief. I want to serve you on the town council. Not run for it. Serve you. Because that is what it is to give back to this community. Something I wanted to do and wish to do if elected to the town council. So thank you very much. Let's go forward together and let's vote.